Under pressure, Shedeur Sanders' turbulent NFL start unfolds as ailing Coach Prime watches from the sidelines. When Shedeur Sanders first stepped on a Cleveland soil, he carried with him more than just football gear and rookie optimism. He carried the weight of legacy, a last name etched into sports history, and the silent hopes of a father whose body was breaking down even as his belief in his son remained unshaken. That father, Deion Sanders, aka Coach Prime, is an NFL Hall of Famer, a man who once defied odds with blazing speed and magnetic swagger. Now, as he battles health challenges off camera, he finds himself watching his son stumble under a weight perhaps too heavy for any 23-year-old to bear. The arrival of a prince. Shedeur arrived in Cleveland with fanfare. He had dominated headlines during his time at Jackson State and Colorado under his father's tutelage. He wasn't just a star college quarterback. He was a cultural symbol, someone who had represented a new wave of HBCU pride, then boldly followed Coach Prime to a struggling Colorado team, reigniting fan engagement and media attention in Boulder. He came to the Browns already well known. His jersey sold, his name trended, and when minicamp opened, his arm did the talking. The rookie hit 77.4% of his throws, drawing praise from coaches, analysts, and even veterans in the locker room. Cleveland, a city battered by decades of quarterback roulette, felt like it might have finally struck gold. But legacies are double-edged swords. The speeding scandals. On June 5th, things began to unravel. In Brunswick Hills, Shedeur was pulled over for driving 91 miles per hour in a 65 miles per hour zone. Just a few days later, he was clocked at 101 miles per hour, an infraction 40 miles over the legal limit. It wasn't just reckless. It was dangerous. The narrative pivoted. Suddenly, Shedeur wasn't the cool, confident rookie. He was the kid making headlines for all the wrong reasons. Worse still, instead of facing the music in court, he skipped his arraignment and attended a teammate's charity softball game. Cameras were everywhere. When asked about the speeding tickets, Shedeur smirked and offered what many perceived as a tone-deaf joke. The reaction was swift and brutal. A father's silent fight. What made the situation more painful was the silence surrounding Coach Prime. Deion Sanders, who had previously been an omnipresent figure in Shedeur's football life, was now missing from the picture. Reports circulated about the severity of his health problems, specifically blood clots, foot surgeries, and fears of amputation. Though the details remained private, it was clear Deion was fighting battles of his own. Still, in a moment that reminded the world of his undying support, Deion took to Instagram with a cryptic, impassioned message. "You've got to roll up your sleeves and fight. This ain't no ordinary attack. This is a real sophisticated, highly educated attack. This enemy knows you and knows your weaknesses. You will claim the victory if you don't quit, give up, or give in. You got God, baby." Hashtag Coach Prime. It was more than fatherly advice. It was a battle cry from a warrior worn down but not defeated. Media firestorm. The sports media ecosystem, already primed to track every Sanders family move, pounced. Pundits debated not only Shedeur's maturity, but the entire primetime era. Had Coach Prime protected Shedeur too much in college? Did he prepare him for the brutal realities of the NFL spotlight? Mark Schlereth didn't hold back. On the Stinkin' Truth podcast, he said, "You failed another intelligence test. Nobody's ever called you legendary except yourself. That in and of itself is kind of douchey." Shannon Sharpe chimed in next, speaking not just as a former player, but as someone who understood pressure and legacy. "You got to realize you're Shedeur Sanders. Yep, you know what comes with that last name. You will probably get criticized, scrutinized a little bit more than another 21, 22, 23-year-old would. His last name isn't Sanders. His father isn't Coach Prime." Even local Cleveland insiders like Mary Kay Cabot weighed in. "That's reckless behavior. It's dangerous. And I don't care what anybody says. That is not what you want from your rookie quarterback. That's not a good look." A divided locker room. Internally, the Browns' locker room found itself divided. Shedeur had been winning over teammates with early professionalism. Players noted his willingness to stay after practice, ask veteran QBs for tips, and maintain focus during drills. But public missteps don't go unnoticed. NFL veterans, especially those who clawed their way into the league, view every rookie as either an asset or a distraction. Now, Shedeur was starting to look like the latter. Sources close to the team describe a growing tension. Some players defended Shedeur, arguing that the media was blowing the situation out of proportion. Others were more critical, wondering if the attention was worth the trouble. In a franchise desperate for leadership, even small controversies can become defining. The Sanders brand, burden or blessing. Shedeur isn't just an athlete, he's a brand. With hundreds of thousands of followers and nil deals that made headlines before his first NFL paycheck, he represents the new age athlete, confident, visible, and highly marketable. But with visibility comes vulnerability. Every tweet, every mistake, every laugh on camera becomes magnified. Former NFL star Asani Samuel defended Shedeur with raw honesty. Every MF player speeds. This is normal athlete behavior, but because his last name is Sanders, the haters want to bring as much negative attention as possible. I've never seen a community want to tear a player down like we're witnessing. Samuel's words resonated, but they didn't erase the damage. For every defender, there were three critics. The bigger picture: NFL pressure and public image. NFL quarterbacks aren't judged on arm strength alone. Character, leadership, and discipline define careers. From Johnny Manziel to Baker Mayfield, Cleveland fans have seen what happens when potential is undermined by distraction. Shedeur's off-field choices may seem minor, but in an ultra-competitive league, optics matter. Coaches notice. GMs take notes. Teammates judge. Already, rumors swirl. Will Shedeur be benched for preseason games? Will the Browns consider a veteran free agent QB if media pressure intensifies? And perhaps most chillingly, will Shedeur's NFL journey mirror his college path, a bright beginning dimmed by drama? Redemption still possible. Despite the growing storm, redemption remains on the table. Shedeur Sanders still possesses elite football instincts, a high football IQ, and the genetics of a Hall of Famer. If he takes responsibility, apologizes sincerely, and rededicates himself, he could not only recover, he could inspire. And behind him, always, is Coach Prime. Though health issues limit his physical presence, Dion remains Shedeur's greatest supporter. From the hospital bed or the back of a private plane, he continues to whisper encouragement into his son's ear. This chapter in Shedeur's story isn't the end. It's a challenge, one he must now answer not with Instagram captions or sideline smiles, but with silence, sweat, and smart decisions. Final thought: what makes legends isn't how they start. It's how they respond when the world turns. Shedeur Sanders is facing that moment now. For Cleveland, for the NFL, and for a father fighting his own war from afar, the question remains: will the prince rise? Or will the pressure bury him before his story truly begins? And behind him, always, is Coach Prime. Though health issues limit his physical presence, Dion remains Shedeur's greatest supporter. From the hospital bed or the back of a private plane, he continues to whisper encouragement into his son's ear. This chapter in Shedeur's story isn't the end. It's a challenge, one he must now answer not with Instagram captions or sideline smiles, but with silence, sweat, and smart decisions.